Hey everybody, Pat's Blades TV. A lot of you are heading down to Mexico. A lot of you have questions. Lean, one of my followers and clients, went ahead and reach out to me and asked me to do a little video to explain stuff to y'all. Pretty much comes down to this, a little basic about who can drive what. Anybody can drive a Mexican plated vehicle. Anybody can import a vehicle into Mexico. Now the rules are pretty simple. If it is NAFTA manufactured, it can be imported into Mexico. There's 70% duty of the value unless it's 8 or 9 years old, in which case it drops down to like 20%. There is a way for us to assist people with the legalization of their vehicle, which is basically accomplishes the same effect, and that is a fraction of that traditional importation cost. Reach out to us. That's for 2017 year NAFTA manufactured vehicles and older, 2017 and older NAFTA manufactured vehicles. So yeah, I mean, you go ahead, you come to Mexico, you buy a Mexican car. It doesn't matter if you're a tourist, temporary resident, a permanent resident, you can drive that vehicle. Not all states will let you go ahead and register a vehicle in the respective state. For example, Nayarit no longer allows tourists to register vehicles in their name in Nayarit, nor does Jalisco. But we have other states that do. We can help you with that. Just reach out here to Pat's Place. All right. So, you want to drive the vehicle back to Canada? You can drive the vehicle back to Canada. It doesn't matter if you're a tourist, a temporary resident, or a permanent resident. Fits in your name. If you have a letter, when you get to the border, they typically don't bother you. So I've had Canadian clients to reach out to me and say, Pat, I went ahead and called the Canadian Customs. They told me that I can't bring a vehicle in. Don't listen to them, all right? The experience of clients and followers has been they've been able to go into Canada as a tourist, as a temporary resident, as a permanent resident, with the vehicle in their name. I don't know so much about vehicles not being in their name, all right? Legally, Canada does have something like a TIP, a temporary import permit, where they could require a deposit to have you bring the vehicle back out within a certain period of time. Nobody I've known, no Canadians I've known have ever had to go ahead and do that. All right. So that's for Canada. Driving Mexican plated vehicles, US plated vehicles, Canadian plated vehicles coming into Mexico. Tourists can bring foreign plated vehicles into Mexico for 6 months. Now, if that tip, what they get a temporary import permit is issued for 6 months, it cannot be extended. I've got people, I've got my tip, it's going to expire in 3 weeks, in 2 weeks. I'm a tourist. What can I do? Nothing. You're going to have to let it expire or drive it back up to the border. That's it. That's all your options are, unless you get legal temporary residency within that period of time, in which case you can go ahead and extend the tip to match the expiration date of your temporary residency. So if you do a tip extension, which you can also do as a temporary resident, so you come into Mexico, they give you typically 30 days on your tip to go ahead and get into customs, stand your primary immigration here, and process your actual temporary residency card. You want to go to the Puerto Vallarta airport or your local international airport to extend that tip, that temporary import. Puerto Vallarta will erroneously say, you got to come back every 6 months. You got to come back every 6 months. No, I don't know why they say that. I don't like to say it, but they're wrong. I've gone to Mexico City. Mexico City said, no, the reason you put your temporary residency card number on the tip extension is so that Mexico City can go ahead and see what the expiration date of that card is and match the tip expiration date to that card right there. So that's that. Don't listen to some of these. Just because they have the job doesn't mean they know what they're doing. But that's international, isn't it? All right. So again, tourists, you get 6 months. You can't extend it unless you become a temporary resident. Temporary residents, if you're leaving the country, always cancel your tip. The reason being is we have people that go ahead, they drive out of Mexico, they get in a car crash, they end up selling their vehicle, and then they want to come and bring another foreign plated car into Mexico. They can't because their passport number is blocked. The only way to get around that, get a new passport. Your passport number, if the new passport number is not blocked, you can go ahead and bring a vehicle in on that. Again, this is for temporary residents. Permanent residents, you cannot drive a foreign plated vehicle in Mexico. Well, you can. You can in the free zones, so like Baja California Sur, most of Sonora, basically. You can drive that. Quintana Roo is also another state that allows you to go ahead and drive without a tip. But as a permanent resident, basically, if you're coming to inland Mexico, you're not going to get it. Not going to get a tip. They're not going to give you one. So the exception is if you're in process to become a permanent resident, meaning that you're on your way down, you have the sticker in your passport when you go to the border there, they will give you a 30-day, because that's technically, you have 30 days until your temporary residency begins, right? So they will give you 30 days. That doesn't make a lot of sense because you got to get to the immigration at your destination. That's going to take typically a couple of weeks, and then you're supposed to drive the car out to go ahead and get your deposit back at the border. So in a lot of cases, what I tell people, if you like your vehicle and you intend to keep the vehicle longer term, skip the tip. Look at importing or legalizing the vehicle from the get-go, because people go, oh yeah, well, you know what, Pat, what's the cost to go ahead and legalize or import a vehicle? You go, the range is this to this, and they go, oh, it's a lot of money. I think I'll just pay the $400, tip deposit and drive out. Well, a year or two later, then people are like, hey, how do I get Mexican plates for my vehicle? Well, I already told you. You got to drive all the way back to the border and go ahead and import the vehicle. And they go, oh, I don't want to drive back there. Like, should have legalized it, should have imported on the way down. So if you are thinking you have a nice vehicle and it qualifies, check with us before. A month, 2 months, 3 months. If you're even thinking about it, check in with us for guidance on legalization and importation of your vehicle to see if it's possible. Not all vehicles qualify, right? Remember, it has to be a NAFTA vehicle for the first part. Anyways, I hope this information helps. I know this is a little bit of a long video, but covers everything. So again, anybody can go ahead and import a vehicle into Mexico. Not all states will register the vehicle in their name. We can help with that. And yeah, your Mexican plated vehicle, you can drive anywhere in Mexico, anywhere in the United States, anywhere in Canada. All right? And the United States doesn't care. Foreign plated vehicle, you're supposed to go ahead and only drive the United States for up to 1 year if you're a foreign resident, but they don't check. They don't care. Anyways, all right. Thanks for watching Past Plays PVTV. Hope this information helps. Go ahead and share more information or your questions or comments there in the comments there. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.